Welcome in, SMITE fans, to the SMITE Update Show, pre-show that we love to do before we come into some next big updates in SMITE, where we have some fun, talk about some cool shows that we have, and then bring you all some great SMITE stuff later on at the end. Now, of course, I do not do this show on my own. I am joined, as always, by Ena and Tina here. And Ena, Tina, I assume you all are both doing great today, right?
I'm miserable.
Yes. A little bit of the COVID blues setting in, perhaps, then there for you, Ena. But we're celebrating what it was Smite's birthday not too long ago here at this point. A lot of cool stuff is happening right now, so it's kind of what we're celebrating here today. So a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming up here, first of all. So how are you all feeling about Smite kind of getting older and been around for, what, 9 years at this point?
Yeah,
Been around for a while.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Ena and I have been here for like 8 years together, so it's you know, we've been celebrating along with it. We've always been along for the ride, so it's been a journey.
Oh, memories of me and Tina together. She sat next to me for like a day, and I remember she was starting and doing some really cool Smite work as well, introducing, I think, Anubis, if you can go all the way back to him, and his release, and she was dressed up as an Egyptian goddess. We were doing those type of videos that were so much fun. I was just starting out with the lore, and it's just good memories, man, good memories. Happy birthday to a game that is just, ooh, it's
Our
good.
baby!
Good stuff. It's our little baby.
I mean, I have memories of watching the two of you from home. I don't want to sound creepy, not just like through a window, but like, you know, watching the Smite game show and seeing you guys on there and doing a great job always. So I was super excited to get a chance to join you. And speaking of the great stuff that you always do, Ena, you've got the art show coming up here next. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what we can expect from that here today?
Well, since we're big fans of dragons on this show, obviously, especially with the newest release of Tiamat, who is just, ooh, Mom, please step on me.
Yes.
We've got like obviously we've got a lot of great art from everybody in the community, but we have this one Tiamat piece and a few others that I can't wait to show you guys on the art show. So yeah, stick around.
Yeah, I heard we wanted Imagine Dragons to do the score for this, but it fell apart in arbitration. You know, that's how those kind of deals always end up going. So it is the art show with Ena that is coming up next, and oh my god, with Tina right after that. Not going to be any this month at Smite this time around, but don't worry, we'll have you on the next one. So next up, going to be the art show with Ena.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Hi-Rez Community Art Show. Oh, I missed you guys so much. It's me, your girl, EnaBuns, and with me as always is the amazing, the effervescent, the beautiful Bananimation.
Hi everybody.
What up, girl? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to go through this this art that we have. We've got a few pieces. Now, before we jump in, though, I needed to make a mention. Currently, our submission form was going through a little bit of a snafu, so we grabbed a lot of these pieces from Twitter. And I know, Ena, you've been having a lot of people tag you as well, and we've both been kind of interacting with a lot more Twitter followers and Twitter community artists. So, yeah, a lot of all the art for this this week's art show is going to be from Twitter. So thank you guys for just coming in clutch and tagging us and everything. We're excited to get into it.
Woohoo! Thank you guys.
Yay.
Yes.
All right, so let's jump right into it. The first one we've got is this piece, this amazing Paladin's piece, starting off strong by one Catholinos. I hope I said that right. By the way, these are their Twitter tags, so please feel free to follow them. These are people that have been consistently giving us such amazing Twitter art. So yeah, we got this Paladin's piece. It's amazing.
I love this. Yeah, so much of the crew here. I love all the colors. It's lovely.
I think this would be really cool for a T-shirt as well. I wonder if they've submitted it to the FanForge.
FanForge, yeah, this would be really cool as a T-shirt or as a poster. I would love that.
Yeah, either way, like super dynamic, really well put together. The framing of each character is really good, and I love that they did color for each character, so that way, like even though it's a sketch, you see every character vividly. Definitely. Being all together, you know, it's still very apparent. But yeah, amazing work, one Catholinos. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next piece, we've got Oh my god.
Yo.
Yes,
Yeah.
we've got
Oh my
this
gosh.
Okami Tiamat skin by Chisel the Sea. And this is great. We haven't seen this yet. Oh my
This is really cool. I'm trying to think of like how it would work and stuff with her. Oh, that's really fun.
yeah. I do like the headdress or that floating headdress area. I think that would go really
Like
well
the
and
little crown.
would fit really well with like Tiamat's giant head that she has all those things poking out her horns, I guess you could say. But yeah, this is awesome. Also, anything
Yeah.
Okami, let's do it. 100%.
Yeah. I love
Yay! All
the
right.
drawing. I guess those are the minions in the corner too. Those are really cool.
I
I
imagine
love
so.
it.
Yeah, I like the little ones, the little fox wrapping around. Really, really
Right.
cool. Oh my God, thank you so much to Chisel the Sea. Moving on to the third piece we have. Oh, this is so perfect because spring is coming. We just recently went into spring equinox.
Oh,
Oh my God, this is Petal Flurry Nox by H. Hestia.
this
Oh,
is
this is so
gorgeous.
soft. Isn't it like,
She's
oh, I
beautiful.
love it. I
Unless you
love
got
it. It's
allergies,
so,
stand back.
oh
That's
yeah,
for
no,
sure.
stand away, girl. Come on. I'm currently dying as we speak, honestly. I don't know how I'm holding it together. But oh my god, this is so cute. Petal Flurry Nox. It's such a nice, calm skin because she typically is like more dark. Obviously,
Mhm.
she's like what is she in her mythology? She's like Nyx, right? So she's darkness
Nyx, I think
and all that.
Nyx is night and Nox is darkness or something.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
it could be
Pop
the same
quiz. I
thing, just
wasn't
different
ready.
pantheon. We're gonna get a lot of people being
I
like,
know. I'm
excuse
sorry.
me. Well, either way, it's such a nice departure from the OG Nox. So thank you so much, 3H Hestia, for this piece. Moving on to the next one. Ooh, y'all, oof, it's
It's
summertime.
that
They skipped
girl.
right to summer. Girl. All right. This one is the Aphrodite Oasis Gin piece by 4K Paro.
I love
And
this.
yeah, this is great.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
She's just
anatomically, like
chilling.
it's really nice. It's a really good angle too. Oh man.
Yeah.
I,
Flying on
I
her
love
carpet.
the wrinkles right here. They did such a good job with that.
Hmm.
And then oh, just her pose is really great. This is such a sweet, soft piece.
Yeah,
I
great
love it.
work.
Yeah, good job 4K Paro. We love this Aphrodite skin. She always so hot, girl. Ooh,
Hmm.
perfect. Moving on, guys, to this next piece by one of our personal favorites. This is by
Yeah.
our Cajun, or as you know him on Twitter, Ragin' Cajun.
Raging
This is
Cajun.
mint condition Hercules. He did his own version of Toy Hercules, and it's amazing.
I
And he did the
love
card
this.
art for it and everything. Oh my
Oh,
god.
so good. You can kind of tell who the other characters are in the background too, which is super fun. Or
I think
possibly
that's
who they might
Rama.
be.
I think that's Rama down
Maybe.
there, right? With
Yeah.
his arms crossed.
And
Oh
Arthur,
my
it looks
god.
like.
Yeah, and maybe like
Ah,
Aphrodite or something.
or Belinda
Oh
with the whip.
man.
Yeah.
It's giving me
Heck
some
yeah.
serious like 90s vibes. You remember that movie like Soldier Warriors or Warrior whatever? You
Oh
remember
my
it?
gosh.
What was
Small
it
Soldiers,
called?
I think? Is it
Small
Small
Soldiers.
Soldiers?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
I
It's
love
giving me
that. Yeah.
that vibe. Oh my god, this is awesome. Raging Cajun, of course, they did the Raw,
Doodle
the
Raw. Ah,
SpongeBob Doodle.
it's
They
so
did
good.
the card art for that and the concept, and I'm so happy we finally got to have it in game. So who knows? Maybe we get some more amazing stuff from them. So thank you so
Yes.
much, Raging Cajun, for this one as always.
Heck yeah.
Oh, it's so amazing. All right, now to a more soft and relaxed uh, submission. I love this one so much. I just thought it was so funny and cute. This next piece is by Six Ramen 1996 very long. And it's Tiamat just chit-chatting with some minions, being like, I'm not angry. I am merely disappointed.
It's big mood. Big Tiamat mood.
Oh, I love her. She
Oh,
brings mom energy to Smite that we honestly have been needing for a long time. I'm so happy.
the scariest mom energy.
I know. It's the creepiest. I love it. I am not angry.
Yes.
I'm merely disappointed. I think that just brings back memories of my mom saying that to me.
No.
I can't, y'all. Cancel the show. I gotta go call my mom. Anyway, moving on to this next one. Thank you so much for that. 6 Robin, 1996-ify. Moving on to this next one. We've got another Paladins piece. We always love to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
This is Yagharoth and Vora.
Beautiful. This is so cool.
Isn't it? That's another like awesome shirt piece. How did you feel, Anna, about Yagharoth? I thought he was like really cool looking. Or she, right?
I think it's a lady. Yeah. I remember when the Paladins animation team was working on her, they were all about her. So we always have fun with creatures. So I know that they were having a good time with her. Definitely love it.
It was really cool to see such a massive creature in Paladin, since we did it with Jorgamander. It was nice to see it, or Paladins do the same. And 2 for 2 on the badass mommy monster trope that we got going on in our games. I'm a big fan. And also Vora was really cool, and I really liked her intro teaser. Wasn't that cool? Like that trailer where everything just gets like taken over. I thought that was so badass. All right, but thank you. This one is by 7SD4NDRP. Y'all need to help me out with these names. Easy to remember. Oh my god, thank you so much for this one. We love to see some Paladins work, and also Yagharoth is a big baddie. Love her. Moving on to this next one, we've got the 8th piece, which is by Take This Jungle 1. And they've recently been popping off. I don't know if maybe they had been submitting, but I hadn't seen their work before. And recently, in the past couple weeks, they've been tweeting us these awesome pieces that have so much personality. You've seen them, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say I've been following them too. You guys definitely go check out their Twitter. Is it Take This Jungle or is it Take This Jungle Buff? I'm not sure.
Take This Jungle 1.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
We'll find it and post it in the chat or something. Yeah. It's so many good pieces. I love the Wheelish piece that they just did as well. Super cute.
Yes, definitely. They also had another big one that was a Celtic. Honestly, we wanted to show all 3, but we got to go 1 and 1. You know, we got to give everybody else a chance to shine. But yeah, this one was my favorite personally. It's really nice to see. As you guys know, I really like seeing Smite gods in a very chill manner, instead of them always fighting and always ready to go. So it's just Hercules sipping on a little juice and just hanging out. It's awesome. You got the big gulp. Exactly. Thank you so much. Take This Jungle. Moving on to the next piece that we have.
Oh my god.
And I really wanted you to see this because I know, like, drew a very cute Tiamat, which we'll get to. But I knew that you'd appreciate this piece.
I love the design on the tail and like the back frills. This is just, it's so beautiful and so cute, and we love our dragon mom.
Yes. Exactly. I'm dying at the little paws, the little back paws that are sticking up. Oh my god. For a god that is so complex, like design-wise, has some of the most complex look to her. I don't know how they managed to make it so simple, easily readable, or easy to read. Good Lord. And just like, oh my god, she's adorable. I love her.
Yes, I love this so much. I definitely want this as a poster too. I feel like I say that about all of them, but it's true.
But that's a good thing. And guys, just in case I didn't mention, this is by Umnari. So please check them out. And this piece, oh my god, I love it so much. She's so freaking cute. So I know. Anyways, all right, guys, we made it to the pick of the show, the last one. Ooh. Let's see what we got. Pick of the show. It's this one. It's Amaterasu, the Serpentine Shogun Amaterasu. Oh. We did it, guys. We did a gender bent on another Smite character. I love this. This is by Hexaline.
Hexline, or it's Rayanne, right?
Hexline.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So good.
Isn't this amazing? Oh man, so you guys know how I feel about like full concepts when you guys do these amazing turnarounds that are so professionally put together. They gave us the sword, they gave us the hilt, they gave us the mirror, they gave us gloves, those cute little gloves, they gave us a close-up of the face. I know. Thank you for the close-up, because listen, he fine.
He hot.
He real cute. He real cute. Oh my god. But this could actually be a thing. Let's do it. Come on.
It'd be so cool. Come on, let's do it.
Man, I love gender bent Smite gods. I think that's one of the cooler things that we've done. Like it's for Thanatos as well. I think that one was my favorite one. But yeah, congratulations, Hexaline. Thank you so much. That was the pick of the show. And guys, we actually have that Tiamat piece that I mentioned earlier by our darling Anna that we want to throw up real quick. We'll shoot it up real quick.
There it is.
Oh my god. It's amazing.
Thank you. I was working on this actually while we were animating on her. I was like having so much fun with her. So here she is.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
Did you draw this during your live stream? Because I know sometimes you stream.
I do stream. Yeah, I think I did a little bit of it since it was like kind of while we were just about to show her. I think once she was revealed, I did some of it on stream. But yeah.
Oh my god.
This
is really amazing. It's gorgeous. And also, like, I love your style. Your style is so good, Anna. I love it so much. Y'all make sure to follow Anna on Twitch and everything. Also, happy birthday, Smite.
Happy birthday, Smite! Woo! You did
Oh my god, I'm so excited. So many, it's seven. It's happy 7th birthday to Smite. Right? Yes.
Yay!
Oh my god, we've been with this game for so long. It's so nice, and I love it so much.
Yeah, it's been crazy to see it grow, see the art grow, see the community grow. So thank you guys.
Exactly.
Thanks for making this a special birthday for us.
Thank you so much, guys. But we're gonna go ahead and by the way, Anna, what's your favorite dragon character, real quick?
Well, I might be a little biased because I do love me some Tiamat, but my first diamond was Cuckoo, so they're kind of head-to-head there.
You and Finch then, because I think Finch really liked Kukulkan as well, but that's amazing. Thank you so much for answering that really quickly, and thank you to everybody in the community for tagging us with your amazing art. Keep it up. We'll figure out the submission form, but for now, we've been doing perfectly fine on Twitter, so y'all just go ahead and keep tagging us, keep drawing, keep playing Smite, and yeah, we'll go ahead and jump over to Oh My God, and I've been EnaBuns, that's been Bananimation, and we love you so much. Be good. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, friends.
Another excellent episode of the Art Show, just like always, with Anna and Anna. I can't believe I left her out there on that first one. So we'll be moving right on into just kind of where we talk a little bit about what happened there. And another excellent episode from you, as always. But I know that we like to try and have a little bit of fun once we make it past that Art Show. So what is it that you want to have us doing here this time around?
Thank you, Finch. And what I want y'all to do is draw your favorite dragon god from Smite.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! I can do it.
Who are we? I feel like I can't handle Tiamat. She's really busy. There's a lot going on with her. I'm gonna draw someone else.
So busy.
Remember, you can also draw her face.
Oh, just the face?
I mean, you don't have to draw the whole
whatever
body.
You want. Whatever you want. All right. Are we ready?
Okay, let's start.
Oh god, I have reference pulled up.
I had a plan for this, and it just went awry instantly, as it always does.
Isn't that how it always goes? I at least have like 3 panic attacks while I'm drawing. So if you're not stressing out, what are you even doing?
I'm not doing it right. I actually think I'm kind of nailing this. Is the thing, though.
Oh my god, I'm so stressed.
Wait, oh my god.
Yeah, out comes. It's gonna be obvious what I drew, but not because I drew it well. I kind of cheated.
Oh god.
20 seconds!
It's not much time.
Oh, I've never drawn an arm so fast in my life.
Tina, don't panic. Alright. That's our time.
No!
Shit! Oh no, I forgot. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
I hate this.
Oh, I forgot his little. Oh God. Okay. Anyway.
I hate this.
Just, this is the most panic-inducing thing. I don't know why I do this to y'all. Fidge, please show me your amazing piece, please.
All right, so I decided I would draw Jormungandr. So he's kind of like coming up out of the ground, and see the little people I drew for scale because of that's how big he is. I drew the little guys down there.
Oh
So
my
there's
God!
Jorm,
Thank you.
just kind of hanging out. So
I love him.
And that's a dragon, right?
Spitting out?
I wasn't.
Is he spitting out something?
Yes, for sure. That is him.
Okay.
Spitting
I got
out.
it.
Yeah.
It looks like a floppy dildo. Okay, so this is what I drew.
Oh,
this is me.
Yes.
No, this is me. Wait. This,
That's you.
No,
No,
this is
that
me.
One. That one.
And this, you know who this is? Yeah, baby.
Al Kwong, what up? B.O.
Yes,
new
girl.
boy.
Wow,
Your
I would
sexy
not
new
have guessed.
boy.
That.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Aw,
Very good.
yours is very
good.
tender.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love him.
I knew who that was immediately because I also drew him.
Yes!
so
Oh my
good.
God! Look at those nipples, dude.
All I'm gonna say is I'm keeping this one for reasons.
Later times.
There you go. I forgot his little goatee though, and his little like.
Oh
string
yeah,
boys.
his stringy
Oh.
boys.
I'm very sad about it, but yeah, no, he's beautiful, and he's, oh God, when he first came out, woo, I was like, you know what? No, how could they do this to the noodle? And then I saw his model, I was like, well, I get it, it's fine.
Yes, I get it.
I love how sparkly
Thanks,
he is. Well, Tina, really quick
dude.
before we move on to your Oh My God section, what can you tell us
Yes.
about what you're doing this week? Who are you talking to, and what are y'all discussing?
So we're gonna be discussing Tiamat,
Ooh.
the dragon mama goddess,
Mhm.
and
Love her.
on my show we're gonna be having Clumsy, who designed Tiamat. So
Yay!
yeah, yay! It'll be really
Yeah.
fun because he's one of my best friends.
Aw. Looking forward to hearing more about Tiamat. Hopefully she can find some time in between stepping on
Yes!
Enna to show up on the show. That'll be a whole lot of fun.
Oh my
Goes on
goodness, I
there.
forgot about that. Oh.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into Oh My God then. Tina with Clumsy to talk about Tiamat.
Hello everyone, welcome to Oh My God, a show where we talk about all things Smite gods. And today, we're gonna be talking about Tiamat! Yay! Oh, where's my applause? Anyway, I was waiting, thank you! Yay! Today, joining me on the show is Tiamat's, dad, design dad, Hi-Rez Clumsy, or Titan Clumsy! Yay!
Hey.
Design dad! Yay!
That's. Have you used that term before? That's.
No, I just try to make it up on the fly.
Well
I didn't
done.
want it to sound perverted or anything, so I was
Yeah,
gonna say like
don't think-
daddy designer, and then I was like,
Uh,
"Ugh," and then
I think we're okay.
stepped. Yeah,
We
I
got
think
it,
we're
we got
good.
it.
I didn't have to explain
Okay.
myself. Okay.
Not at all.
Anyway. Okay. So as tradition, we always start off with lore in 60 seconds. Thank you, headphones god. I appreciate you. All right. So here we go. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So Tiamat was created from a mass of water called like the swirling chaos or something, and the swirling chaos was divided into 2 types of water: fresh water and seawater. And fresh water was like whoever was born from fresh water was called Apsu, which was a dude, and then Tiamat was born from the seawater. And when their union happened, they also like gave birth to like youngling monster things, youngling gods. And all was well until the youngling gods were really annoying, and the 2 parents were really annoyed, so they went to like this vizier called Mamu, who was like the Apsu's vizier dude, and they decided that, okay, we need to kill these children. I know, right? Pretty fucked up. Anyway, so I'm running out of time. Tiamat was like, please don't kill my children, and so they tried to not kill the children, but then she went to like this wisdom dude, and they put them to sleep. Like he put the dad to sleep, Marduk, whatever his name is, and no.
Wow.
Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna finish the story really quickly.
Okay.
So yeah, she went to this dude to ask for help, and he puts him to sleep. Puts the Marduk, the dad, to sleep, and kills him. Apsu to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say Marduk?
Right. Yeah.
Apsu. I meant Apsu to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah, and then imprisons Mamu, the vizier. Right? Okay. But then this magic dude who put that guy to sleep and killed him gives birth to another dude called Marduk, and Marduk is like just a bitch. She's like so mean and then basically all of Tiamat's children are really mad at her. The young children are mad at her and side with Marduk. But then the elder children, I don't know when she gave birth to them, but they apparently exist, the elder children. They're like, Mom, Marduk's bullying us. So Tiamat decides to go to war with Marduk and the younglings. But then Marduk just comes and like bludgeons her with a club.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that all worked out.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think it's fine. Whatever.
Lauren,
anyway, thanks for joining me, Clumsy.
Was that
today.
it? I think,
yeah, that was it for the lore part. You can f*** off now. I'm kidding. No, I'm joking.
Do we have like bleeps on deck right here?
Yeah. Andy will handle the bleeps.
Cool.
Thank you, Andy. I know you're listening. And also, okay, let's start our Tiamat section. Yay!
Yeah.
So let's first talk about what the idea behind her look was. So I know that this is her finished look that we're looking at right now. That's the final art. But we did come up with several different looks for her because we weren't sure what she was supposed to look like, right? We didn't know if she was supposed to be humanoid or not humanoid. So could you go into detail about that a little more?
Yeah, so in Tiamat's stories, it doesn't really go into much detail about what she looks like. I think it says some really crazy stuff, like her, I think she's got loads of udders, she's got loads of monster parts coming out. Her description is pretty monster-esque. And then in one part of the story, so she's got a lot of whole different like forms that are part of her, like appendages almost that are part of her. And we also knew that she's part of like the primordial sea, like you talked about, right? So the direction we wanted to go is really to play up on that primordial creation as well as that salt sea element. And I mean, Sven did, as you can see here, the concept artist on Tiamat did a fantastic job kind of mingling all these different ideas together. So we've got like the jellyfish kind of tail going on. We've got like the chitinous exterior and exoskeleton. I think when you play her with the coloration as well that we've chosen, you can really get this feeling that she's not a sea creature. She's not even just amalgamation of sea creatures. She really is something more. She's a celestial sea creature being. And that was our idea, is really just make Tiamat, SMITE's Tiamat, as we try and do for all of the characters we create, and how we envision her to be.
Gotcha. And why did we decide to put her on a floating thing and standing upright instead of on all fours walking?
Well, we kind of did both, right? Because we wanted her to feel regal. She's like the first of the Babylonian pantheon, right? And she's also a mother. There's so many different themes going on that I think that'll probably lead up to a question later, possibly, of how did her kit get inspired? But it's the same thing as what we saw, right? Is we loved both of these. I think, as you can see, the concept right now is we loved her feeling upright, regal, and just shining on the battlefield, as well as ferocious and kind of just diving into the fight. And that's why we included both, honestly. And that the idea of Tiamat being both of these things is what drew the inspiration for her kit being a stand switcher and being both upright and on the ground. Right. And didn't we at one point discuss like if we wanted her to be more animalistic looking instead of like humanoid, like Ao Kwang kind of?
Like, didn't we discuss that at some point?
We definitely went through a lot of discussions on how feral we wanted her to be, right? And that was going to come into her dialogue and the way she spoke. But I think we definitely lent towards her feeling like a regal
more of
goddess.
An animal, like more of a beast, like an actual dragon beast instead of like a
exactly.
human.
Well, yeah, she's got a little bit of both, right? She's got the goddess feeling where she's she's speaking like she does in cinematic to the Gilgamesh and towards the different gods, but she's definitely got that feral nature. I mean, when you first hear her, she's like it's like a dragon roar. So we want to have both of those parts to her.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. So then, like, me going over the lore earlier, could you say like maybe what kind of inspires some of the abilities that you decided to go with for her because of her lore? Because I know there's babies.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's what I kind of briefly touched upon, is that she's got so many themes, right? I think there's a lot of times where we talked on the Patch Notes show or in other segments, but briefly summing it up, she's the mother of monsters. That's very much part of her stories. She's a primordial chaos being, the very first of the pantheons. She's regal. We wanted to play that up, as I said many times here. And she's a primordial sea creature, right? I talked about that being part of her imagery. So we wanted to add a little bit parts of those into her kit so that we really did justice to who Tiamat is. That's why she is literally the mother of monsters, right? She has 3 different types of summons she can do on the battlefield. We get the regal posture in her upright stance, and then the feral posture in her grounded stance. And like we said, with her form and kind of even the undoing and creation magic that she uses, we tried to make sure that we kind of touched upon each of those little lore points to really bring Tiamat to what she is in Smite.
Did you plan on having from the start, when you knew you were designing her, did you were you like, oh, she needs baby minions, or did that come in later?
I wouldn't say when I was first thinking about Tiamat's kit, I was like, she needs to have literal babies. No, I think I was just trying to find creative ways of having summonable pets, because we've done so many different types of pets in our game already. And if I knew we were going to be having multiple different ones, I wanted them each to have their unique purpose, right? So you've got Umutubrutu the Storm, which is used in team fights primarily. You've got the Bulwark, the Bull Summon Beast, which is used really to catch up to enemies or in 1v1 snares. And then you've got the Summon Serpents, the little ones that you can use and are very specific to help push down lanes or keep your sustain going. So I was really just finding each point and each purpose for her pets.
So since you're talking about this, do you have any like secret strats that you want to tell people? Like, this is the best way to play her, because if you play her wrong, because I know she's difficult. So I was wondering if you have any tips. Exactly. I want to know if there's any tips for like these noobs. Sorry, I mean new people.
For everyone out there.
Yeah, for everyone out there to like be like, okay, this is what you need to do it.
Well,
or what you would do.
Right. When we touched upon like Merlin a while ago and he came out, I said something specific of like, if you really want, you can kind of stay in 1 to 2 stances that felt comfortable to you and just play a long range poke game. You cannot find success with Tiamat of doing the same thing. You can't just stay in one of the stances and just use half of her kit. You really do need to be diverse. You really need to either, if you're playing like a bursty mage, you need to start in range stance, get as much poke as you can, and then dive into the fight, finding opportunities to get your damage off. Or if you're playing more of like a tanky solo laner, maybe you want to do a little bit of the opposite and stay in the grounded stance for as long as you can with those mitigations. A very simple combo of abilities that you can use is starting an upright stance, summoning Beast to slow down a single enemy, then using Ruination to lock them in place with a stun to try and get as much of your Celestial Barrage. That's a lot of damage up front before you jump into the fight and use basically your entire kit in that ground stance. That's a very simple general flow that you can try using. But saying that and then doing it in the game is very different.
Very different. But still, it helps. Like, it really helps if someone tells me, like, okay, this is the way that she should be played. Just hearing it still helps instead of me just going in blind. So I really appreciate that. And now I know for my next time. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so another question I want to ask is, were there any, like, hiccups when you were designing her? Like, did you ever stumble or had a problem?
So, as the designer, we're creating the different types of abilities on the character, right? We're also helping the different teams kind of come together. Those are our two main jobs. The kit kind of, there's a lot going on, but I never felt like I struggled finding a purpose for any of her abilities. I remember there's one general question or comment when she first came out, and it was like, hey, I feel like Tiamat, it was a lot more quantity than quality when it came to her abilities. Like, did you just throw things on a dartboard? And honestly, I think I wasn't offended by that at all. I think it's a very reasonable take, but I think the people who have started playing Tiamat more started understanding that though there really is a flow to the way her abilities were constructed, and there's a reason why she has each component of her kit. It's not just having 11 abilities for the sake of having 11 abilities in Smite, or however many you might think it is. One of the more challenging parts, actually, which I'm sure any devs listening to the stream who were involved with her, was actually the construction of her glyphs on the back that you can see in the concept art here. We knew we wanted to utilize them, and we wanted to have that kind of cuneiform Babylonian imagery that Sven helped add to her design, that I think is just beautiful, and it helps her get this feeling of, you know, larger primordial wings that I knew I wanted on her Celestial Barrage. But the actual technical side of that, programming it, and the tech art and the animations and even the effects, getting that all to come together for a charging up ability, as well as other parts of her kit, was actually a really difficult task for something that most people probably don't appreciate as much as the amount of effort we actually put in for this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, she has like how many abilities altogether?
Well, she's got around 11 to 12 abilities, depending on how many you really count. But then she's also got, like, if you think about what she has, right, she's got two completely different forms, her upright and downright form, and she's got loads of little monster minions as well. She's got a lot going on. We really had to make sure we started her in advance, and, you know, we were very sharp and precise on our milestones. And even then, she's kind of a beast.
Did we run into any like issues when we were playtesting her? Like, did we have to change anything or do anything like that? We didn't have to change
any parts of her kit, which is great. I think
we
just kept polishing parts. Yeah, it's always tough when you have to take a part of the kit and be like, okay, we need to just redo this. That's always a tough one.
Oh, yeah.
But luckily we didn't have anything to do with that. I think her balance has also been in a pretty good state, but we can address that, you know, in the patch notes. So I'm not too worried about that right now. But I wouldn't say she had really any specific issues. It's really just getting through those milestones and chugging along on the massive process and how much work she really entitled.
Right. Okay. Well, that's all the questions from me. Did you have any other things you wanted to talk about for Tiamat? Anything you can think of?
Not specifically, just that I'm really excited to have Tiamat finally in our game. It's something that, you know, our player base has been asking for a while.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure we really did her justice in the way we brought her visually and, you know, how you play her and her gameplay in Smite. So her perception has generally been pretty positive. I'm very excited that you guys are enjoying her and hope you continue to do so. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Clumsy, for, you know, joining me today on the show. I really appreciate
it's always a
that.
Pleasure.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to watch the update show that is coming soon. Yeah, cool. Stay safe. Oh, applause. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome back, guys, from my show. Oh my god. And our guests, Enna and Finch, as well. And so, hi guys, again.
Hey,
great show as always, Peter.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So we're gonna discuss, well, actually I have a question for you guys, and I really want to talk about which dragon god your favorite is on Smite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll hop in here first. Yeah, happy to. Oh wow, this is a tough one. But for me, I think I'd have to say Kukul Khan, because he's for two reasons, right? You know, we changed him on from the Alquag, he's got a really cool look now. But my two reasons are when you're casting, it creates really cool moments. He's got this big ult. It's these big kind of moments I can really get loud about, and they make all these great stuff happen in the game. And then he's just like fun to play. Drop your 3 on people really and they take damage forever. You know, you can kind of walk away and it still hurts them. Just a nice, fun god to kind of play when you want to turn your brain off a little bit and just have a good time playing some Smite.
Yeah, No, I agree. I really
Lizard
like
Queen.
playing him.
My
How
personal
about you,
favorite, I
Enners?
think, well, my favorite has to be Tiamat. I was a big fan of Ao Kuang, obviously, but he's more of a humanoid now. But if I have to go for like full-on Lizard Queen, it has to be Tiamat. There is something there in her design. Sven, who was the original concept artist for her, just completely nailed that really interesting type of dragon that we needed to kind of break away from the other styles that we had. Mind you, they're all amazing, but it was just so nice to have a character that, I don't know, personally for me, it reminds me of like, what's it called? That one Final Fantasy movie where they have these huge giant, this one dragon that like hops out of underneath the earth or something like that. What was it called? I forget. But anyway, yeah, it's got like a lot of really cool Final Fantasy elements to her design. And she's just so badass. I love her. I just, the fur, the scales, the whimsical, weird like tails going on and the gold. And it's just, I love her so much. They did a really good job.
Yay!
Step on me, please.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like
I'm
I said
sure
all
she
that
will
fancy
oblige.
stuff, but honestly, it was just like, please, Dragon Mommy, please, just.
And her children too. That's a lot of feet stepping on you, girl.
I'm ready for it.
Also, so my favorite is still Ao Kuang. I like it because you get both worlds. You get his like humanoid form, and then you also get his like big daddy dragon form. So together it makes this like yummy combination, right? And I also think that well, I really like his abilities as well. I like playing him a lot. I like his swords movements. I think they feel really good and they move really fast. You get a lot of attack speed and I love it. And I also like his dragon baby glowy ghostly things, and I like his ultimate. So I like going up in the air. Yeah, I do love that. So thanks you guys for playing along with me.
Of course.
Yeah, happy
Thanks,
to Tina. Thank you for giving us another great episode of Oh My God, and here we are right at the end of another great pre-show to the update show. Now, obviously, we talked about this earlier. It was recently Smite's birthday, so a lot of cool stuff we want to celebrate around that. In particular, WhiskyWyrm, one of our great community members and an Olympian as well, made a video celebrating that whole history of Smite, breaking down the gods, everything like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at that video for Smite's birthday.
God of gods.
Shall we begin? The shroud of death shall cover this land.
Quiet, I'm on the hunt. This could be the perfect place for a trap.
Clear the path before me!
The light leads me to the dead.
Let's take them head on. You go first.
Drink and be merry.
Light spreads across the land.
Time to go to work.
I sense a disturbance in the reed.
Something smells fishy. Oh, I think it's me.
The world awaits my magnificence.
Clearly the people demand an encore!
Rise.
It is time.
I must open my inner vision. Time waits for no man.
I'm back, milady. A gift just for you. Keep saying you gotta move on, girl. That Ho-E ain't waiting around.
No.
No.
Death comes to all.
What's that? Did you see me, or am I just too fast?
Our journey begins.
Where I go, the sworn follows.
The warring of gods has endangered these lands. I must keep the balance. I've got you right where I want you.
Ah! In your face! Enough of your crying, Jack.
The scales of balance have shifted. I will tip them back.
La 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 la.
Like the winter, you cannot run from me.
Well, it looks like all of my best parts have been accounted for.
While there is warmth, my doors are always open. This is not the time for jokes.
This is one tale you don't want to chase, darling.
They make sacrifices in my name. I am Kukul Khan. Bye. Oops.
I suppose. You're welcome.
I am thinking twice about this human form.
Time to shine, Suku.
I will defend this land from those who intend to destroy it.
I sense a battle approaching. Let us hope our enemies have skill. I'll make everyone feel my pain.
I come from the darkness of the underworld.
If you are what you eat, then I must be nuts. Wait! Anyone ever tell you that a wheelish thinks you smell?
Greetings, friend.
Oh, you're not nearly as ugly as everyone said.
The name is wrong. Cairo.
We make war so that we may live in peace.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, you must have hit every branch falling off the ugly tree.
Only those with my blessing will survive the cold.
Oh, hey, fam.
A warrior is only as good as the blade he carries.
I will take everything from them.
Good will always triumph over evil.
Hello, young one.
It is a beautiful night for a hunt.
Blessings await the victors.
Weapon? Do you not see these guns?
These are savage lands. I must bring order to them.
These gods will soon feel the most excruciating pain.
I'm king of the world! Be it 5 enemies, 50 or 500, we will prevail.
I won't be raiding any picnic baskets. I'm a goddess.
If I must wage war to bring peace to this suffering populace, I will end that war.
Another day in this world of infinite war. Paradise does exist after all.
Cerberus, I think I found you a chew toy.
You think they'll put up a good fight? I hope they do.
Just as the turning of the seasons is inevitable, so was my return. There are too many sun gods for my liking.
Let's liven things up, shall we? Woo! Ha ha! Whoo! Too still. Live a little.
Who's ready to party?
Well, hello there.
To celebrate, let's have a bacchanalia.
Don't get too close now. You can't handle this fire.
I will not hesitate to employ force.
I lead us to glory, to victory! Ready your spells. We shall take the fight to them.
Yes, my liege.
I feel younger already.
I am your Montgomery, the world serpent.
Let's see if you put up more of a fight than Osiris.
Quiet yourself.
No. It pains me to see such strife and turmoil in this world.
I'll give you one chance to surrender. Take it or leave it.
Behold, Yemoja's fury.
The fighting is endless, and I will not fail.
Tremble and quake. Let the ground shake and erupt.
Now, my immortals! Now is the hour!
Without you, there is no Olympus. I will drag it down to the bottom of the oceans.
This world has become corrupted, descending towards madness. Shingetsu, strike! Sister, see where abandoning rule and order has led us all.
Challenge me!
Ah.
You try too hard. Just to relax a little.
I heard there's a huge party this way.
Woo! Ha ha!
Yeah! Why don't you join me? Did you enjoy the sake?
Yes.
I've got more if you need any.
Just my style.
Oh, bakemono! Oh!
Go forth, my children, and take over this land! It all belongs to us! You are no divine being, just a crude monster. Return to ash! A beautiful creation indeed.
Gods and goddesses, it's automatic, systematic, hydromatic. Is it grease lightning? No, it's time for Hey Zeus.
And hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. March, a truly special month for this show. No, not because March is derived from the Roman calendar. I think Titanforge and I both agree. Who cares about the Romans?
That's too bad.
No, it's because March is Smite's birthday. Now, as my kids are aware, I normally don't attend birthday parties.
That's too bad.
But, as is tradition, we're doing a very special roast episode. That's right, a god chosen entirely at random will be able to ruthlessly lampoon me for the Smite audience to see and, it's Hades.
Zeus! Good to see you, my old friend.
Who approved this anyway?
Zeus and myself were the very first Greek gods introduced to Smite 10 years ago. The last time Zeus was in that long term of a commitment, we got Hercules out of it. And Apollo and Artemis and Athena. I know I'm forgetting some, but so did Zeus.
Need healing.
You've been with more women than Loki's had Reddit threads. How does Hera put up with it? You do know Smite requires easy anti-cheat, right? I guess you do, or your win rate would be at least 50%.
This is benefiting some kids' charity, right? No? Yeah, them kids.
And don't get me started on your kids, or at least the ones you know of. If I wanted to play a game about a has-been god that's absent from his children, I would have called Kratos.
Wow, a Kratos and a Smite joke.
It's multi-purpose. You may not know that term. I have seen your gameplay. Burn. By the way, Zeus, what in God's name happened to your voice?
Blast it all!
Whose idea was it to go from Kakarot to a caster? If I wanted to listen to a caster 5 years too late, I'd just watch Hindu Man do the SPL.
That broke the fourth wall and my heart.
But let me close by saying this. Zeus and I, we go way back. We've been in Smite for nearly 10 years, and until TitanForge comes to their senses and bans you, I'll be by your side at least another 10 years to come. Good night, everyone, and I'll see you in Assault, Zeus.
Ha! Thank you, Hades. Get the off of my set. That's all the time we have. Next time, we'll spotlight Japanese cuisine and limousines. It's Danzaboros, Saboro, and Subarus when we come back. Same Smite place, same Smite time. Hey, Thor? Can you bring the thunder? Because I've got the rain.
it so bad. I got it bad for you. You give me good love. You're like a dream come true. They say it won't last. They say you're wild and free. I know you never were a one-man woman. I was hoping you would give that all up for me. I get so confused. I love it when it's only me and you. Doing all the things we know we shouldn't do. This is way too good. It can't be true. So tell me what your game is, what your game is, girl. When you touch me, feel so good, I can't contain it. When you love me, I'm so high, so confident, yeah. When you say I'm the only one, I must admit it. I get suspicious, just a little suspicious. I shouldn't doubt you. I'm all up in my head. When I'm without you, I start to lose my shit. I just been hurt before. Stranger's t-shirt on my bedroom floor. Excuse me for being suspicious. It's just that I get so confused. I love it when it's only me and you. Doing all the things we know we shouldn't do. This is way too good. It can't be true. So tell me what your game is, what your game is, girl. When you touch me, feel so good, I can't contain it. When you love me, I'm so high, so confident, yeah. When you say I'm the only one, I must admit it. I get suspicious, just a little suspicious. I get suspicious, just a little suspicious. I get suspicious, just a little suspicious. So tell me what your game is, what your game is. Cause I haven't slept for days, not slept for days, yeah. Baby, love is never painless, never painless.
Hello, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the King of Uruk update show. I'm your host, Titan Cupcake, and I'm joined with Pawn and Clumsy. How y'all doing today?
Good, good.
Yeah, having a pretty good day so far.
Nice. Thanks for joining. So far, so good. Well, we've got a lot to cover today. We've got bonus balance, we've got skins, we've got living conquest changes, and of course, we've got the grand Gilgamesh reveal. So let's just jump into it and start talking about some bonus balance. That'll go live on April 6th. So some of the first bonus balance that we have coming up will be a nerf to Janus, specifically his threshold. Clumsy, could you tell us a little bit more about Janus's nerf?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we did a lot of Giannis changes, you know, finally gave him some buffs that I think he well deserved and needed. It definitely gave him some more power. It helped him out in the mid lane a lot. And while his win rate hasn't really rose that much from where, you know, he was historically on the bottom, we also know that his frustration definitely did go up. And a lot of that is in how mobile he is, especially with the larger map. So we wanted to touch upon Threshold. You know, it gives a lot of 30% movement speed at max rank. We're really just going to be bringing that down. Pretty much across the board, mostly targeted towards those late ranks. So hopefully make it so you can catch up to him a little bit easier.
We've also got nerfs coming for Tsukiyomi. Will you talk about that, Pawn?
Yeah, of course. So Tsukiyomi, definitely one of the stronger performer characters. We did adjustments and he kind of settled out, but over time we've seen him still excel a little bit too much. So we're taking some base damage off Dr. Moon Shuriken as well as the Kusari Gamma, just to make sure that when he goes to like gank you or when he goes to pressure you, it's a bit more fair in terms of the damage output he has, as well as his clear speed.
I'm excited to see that in action. Have him stop ganking me. We've also got nerfs coming for Guan Yu, which is another one that I'm excited about. What about that one, Pawn? Do you know more about that?
Yeah, so we have the not only for Guan Yu, but also for the next character, we have some cooldown increases. Mainly, Guan Yu is a character that has been really rising in the rank scene. The buff damage to Taolu Assault was definitely something that helped him out a ton, but something that we also think that him having is good for him as a character. So rather than removing that component, we want to just address some other areas of his kit where Conviction Warriors, well, they have low cooldowns that can be reduced further through gameplay. We're just going to increase those so that they're happening less frequently. You have more opportunities to catch up to Guan Yu, or to slow down his healing output just a hair.
And that leads into the Aphrodite nerf as well.
Yeah, I mean, Aphrodite, even though we did a lot of the anti-heal changes recently, she hasn't actually struggled, she hasn't moved down the charts as much as you think. In fact, really not at all. So we think increasing the cooldown on Lovebirds from 12 to 14 seconds, it's going to make that health swing she gets when she's hitting an enemy and healing her allies, be a little bit more impactful and more noticeable, especially when you get to late game.
All right, neat. We've also got 2 more nerfs coming up, one for Apollo and his Serenade specifically, and I believe it's going to be a revert. Will you tell us more about that, Clumsy?
Yeah, so for Apollo, we're going to be decreasing the physical protections. We gave him, a little bit more survivability. We gave him a lot of buffs actually coming from the last season, and he's been pretty resilient to the recent nerfs we've been giving him as well. He's definitely shot up to be one of the top hunters right now, and we think hitting a Serenade, hitting something that he can utilize really well, especially late game when he just needs a few more autos to get off, is going to be pretty impactful towards the late game, which is where we want to address, since we've already brought up his early game to a fair degree.
Okay, great. And then the last one on the list, Pawn, could you tell us more about the Nemesis nerf to Retribution specifically?
Yep, so we're just increasing the shield health, which also will impact the healing that she gets from the shield when she uses it to reflect damage. The big thing here is Nemesis was one of the last assassins on the list to really be performing really well, but not see too much of a nerf. Set last patch got the Bumba's Hammer change. In this case, Nemesis is getting the Retribution shield change here, just to make sure that when you do trade with her, she's not trading as positively with her shield when she gets it off successfully.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for telling us about the bonus balance that'll be coming. Tons of nerfs that are coming y'all's way on April 6th.
Yep.
But with that, we also have a lot of cosmetics that are going to be hitting the battleground. So we've got the Talons of Tyranny event is going to be coming with new skins. The first skin that we'll talk about is Prince of Lightning Zeus. Let's take a look.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, wow.
It
no,
looks
he's hot.
incredible. Oh no! He looks amazing though.
That looks awesome.
I'm excited to see all of the effects and everything in game too. We've also got the voice lines ready, so let's give it a listen.
Great, another set of fools to destroy. So be it.
Man, that outfit's so great.
I
love
wait to
it.
compare this directly with Almighty Zeus and just have them face off.
Which one will come out on top? We've also got Rune Machina Ganesha hitting the battleground as well through the Talons of Tyranny event. Let's take a look at that one.
Ooh.
Oh, I love him. So neat.
Yeah, this is in the,
I love
in the
all those
line with
glowing
the
events.
Apollo skin.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
All right, let's give the voice pack a listen.
It is I, the opener of ways.
Oh, that sounds amazing. It looks amazing. I also have a note from our audio team that said that they incorporated some Middle Eastern instruments into his magical sounds. So when you get to play him through the PTS this weekend, give it a listen and see if you can point those out for yourself. We've also got one last skin that'll be coming out with the bonus update. We've got the Queen Bee Nox, and oh my gosh, the drip. She looks incredible.
Oh, that's
I love
awesome.
that dress. I'm really excited to see what the effects we're gonna pull off on this one.
And the honeycombs in the
Oh,
back.
wow.
It's just beautiful.
The
Very
bees
pretty.
rotating around the scepter.
Yes. Let's give the voice pack a listen.
Let us give them a little sting, darling.
Oh my goodness. Yes, 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 yes. Slay Queen. I love her.
I love also the Easter eggs and the card art. I think that was a set in the background of one of the card art that she was in, which is really neat.
Nice.
I love the Easter eggs in the backgrounds of the different card arts. The more you look, the more you find.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to wrap up all of the bonus update balance and skins that'll be hitting the battleground. But we also have some community news to go over. So the first thing that I wanted to remind everybody about is the birthday event. We still have some in-game rewards that you can earn for free through April 6th, where you can be unlocking all kinds of avatars, jump stamps, global emotes, and once you unlock 6, you will get the Kukulkan skin for free. So make sure you're logging in every day to get those rewards. We've also got a reminder that SPL is right around the corner. So April 23rd is going to be the
Finally.
kickoff. Yes, right? It feels like it's been forever. But don't forget
so
that you can
long.
also grab the in-game cosmetics, and all of those proceeds will go directly to the players, so you can support them in-game and out of game. And then the last thing that I wanted to cover with y'all for community news is we have a new Prime Gaming skin available for y'all to claim for free. It is Infinite Seer Op Wash.
Nice. That's a
So
really good
make
one.
sure you claim that one. I love all of those infinite skins. They're so pretty and their effects are gorgeous. So if you don't have this one already, again, it's free through Prime Gaming, so pick that up. Are we ready to get into the balance that will be going live with the King of Uruk update?
Yeah, we got a lot to go over.
Let's go.
All right, first things first. The first three things are kind of all looped together, and I'll hand this off to Pawn. So we've got nerfs coming for Bumba's Hammer, Death's Toll, and Death's Embrace. So what is the change that's happening with those?
Yeah, so these are all interesting items where basically for hitting targets, you get a powerful benefit. So Bumba's Hammer, you get some health back, you get some cooldown reduction, you do some bonus damage. Death's Embrace, you get quite a bit of health back. And this was something that you could proc on immune camp, so you could stand outside of a jungle monster radius and just shoot in and hit immune targets, and you just heal up to full or get cooldowns back really quickly. It felt a little bit against the spirit of what those real items really are. Lifesteal, for example, you do have to actually engage and damage the camp to get health back. So we're just changing these items to function more to where you actually have to engage the target. Now, if you want to reset them and let them get back to full health to try and trigger on them again, sure. But now it's not so free. You have to actually invest time and positioning to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We also are going to have a buff coming for Ornate Arrow, where the item will now provide 10% attack speed and also provide some critical strike chance, along with some changes to the passive. Clumsy, could you take that on for us?
Yeah, so there's a lot of great starter item choices. Ornate Arrow and Gilded Arrows being the starter. It was one that you kind of maybe wanted to pick up, but you didn't really justify, especially with some of the counter builds. So now with these buffs, you get a lot of the passive that you kind of needed a lot more stacks, a lot more gold for Ornate Arrow, brought up front. So you're really going to just get a reward immediately on picking up the upgrade.
Okay, cool. And then Leader's Cowl is getting a buff as well. Will you take that on, Clumsy, please?
Yeah, so Leader's Cowl is one of the ones where it's a little more of a niche scenario for hunters. It's like we talked about with the Ornate Arrow. There's just a lot of great choices. So now with this change, we're getting a 15% attack speed just straight off the bat. It's similar to what we talked about. It's just a reward that you'll get. You don't really need to worry about the competing options as much.
And then additionally, that new passive, not only is it a little bit better wording, so it's a bit clearer to understand, but you'll also always get 5% increased power to ally gods, whether or not you're outnumbering or not. So that also just makes it more upfront usable in a lot of situations. So even in a full 5-on-5 team fight where everyone's even, you are getting some benefit.
Yeah, that's going to help a lot.
Okay, awesome. This next item is getting a nerf, and I've seen it in almost every game. Sentinel's Embrace. Pawn, why are we giving that a nerf?
I mean, you kind of pointed out it's in every single game. It's really not only super effective, but it was also very restrictive in what you could go into for supports. Even if you might find the Compassion Tier 1 starter a bit better, it upgraded to Compassion and not Sentinel's Embrace, and so you're kind of like, I'm just going to go Sentinel's Embrace. So largely what we're doing here is making it spread out a bit more, so it's harder to just single out a teammate to give a whole bunch of protections to, and we're also reducing the aura. We are making up for some of it on the base stats to make sure that when you pick it up as a support, you still feel good about the defenses you're getting, but you're not going to be giving as much to your teammates, and hopefully this will bring it more into line with the other support starter upgrades.
Oh, gotcha. So make sure you get those Sentinel's Embrace games in before this nerf takes place.
It'll still be pretty good.
We'll see. We'll let the community be the judge of that. Compassion is also going to be getting a buff. The passive aura range is going to be increased. The magical protections will be increased along with the HP 5. Clumsy, could you give us a little bit more insight on that buff?
Yeah, so we still think that even with the nerfs of Sentinel's Embrace, it's still going to be pretty good, and that's why we're also buffing up some of its alternates. Items. Compassion was one that supports kind of struggle to use because of the range being a little bit limiting, so we're giving that a big chunk of extra range, and you're also getting a lot more defenses so that when you are taking the extra damage, you're going to be mitigating a lot more of it too.
Sounds good. We have a shift coming in also for Sundering Axe. Would you give us a little bit more details about that, Pawn?
Yeah, so Sundering Axe was very good for warriors, but it also had a secondary use case, which was that a lot of mages in particular were often skipping the starter and then rushing Sundering Axe at the very end, getting this basically extra 10% enemy current health damage up front on all their burst. It's interesting. We think that's a cool idea, but we don't want that to be the dominant go-to strategy of skipping a starter to rush towards this. So we're going to make you work a little bit harder for it if you want to use it as a mage. We're making it so that it scales off partially your protections from items. So warriors, you're largely not going to notice a change. If you're building kind of this bruiser tanky warrior, it's going to be as effective or maybe even a little bit more effective for you. But if you're a mage and you're splashing it in at the very end to your full power build, it's not going to be quite as effective as it was before.
Gotcha. So mages will need to rethink things a little bit. They've got some time. We're also going to have some buffs coming for Bluestone Pendant and Bluestone Brooch. Clumsy, could you tell us about those?
Yeah, I mean, Bluestone Pendant and Brooch as well. It's just those are the starter items you really wanted as, you know, the ability characters where you're using a lot to poke your enemies and hit the wave, but it just wasn't really giving you enough punch, and that's really what we're doing here. We're just punching up both of the numbers on these items, the starter and the upgrade, to make it feel a little bit more competitive.
All right, pretty straightforward. We will also have a buff coming in for the alternate timeline. We'll be decreasing the cooldown on that. Pawn, what do you think?
Yeah, so when we were all the different starters,
we
imagined there was a timeline where this was the only item built by anyone, and everyone always had alternate timeline. So we were pretty scared about the passive. We gave it a 10-minute cooldown. That was probably too extreme, and overall, people actually found out that when they used it, often they needed their teammates really there to support them because they would just revive and die otherwise. There are counterplay options. People can react to it, so we feel safer giving this effect more often just to see how it plays in upcoming patches and see how this just plays now that we have had some time to experiment with all the starters.
Totally.
Sounds good. And the last thing that I've got on my list in terms of items is actually just a fix for Staff of Mirrodin, where we fixed an issue where the item was not triggering at the same time after ultimate ability fired as the other Arthurian items. Is there anything that y'all
there's
want
some
to go into detail about
inconsistency. Yeah, the big example that people probably would think of is Hera and Aset. So those ultimates would wait till... So if you bought Pridwin, you'd cast those abilities and you immediately get Pridwin's shield. If you had Staff of Mirrodin, you had to wait till Argus died or the Circle of Protection exploded before you actually got it. So there was inconsistency with those two effects. They now match Pridwin, because that generally felt like the more straightforward, usable case.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. And now we get into the spicier part. Are we ready? Nerfs for Tiamat, man. Nerfs for Tiamat. Who wants to take that on? It's a lot.
I'll go for it. So, yeah. So I saw a lot of people, waiting for what we're gonna do here. We went a whole patch without any shifts to Tiamat at all, and we really just want to get more data. She's now in ranked as well. There's a lot of different sentiments from the community as well as from pro players and content creators. But in general, there's two main pain points, and I think it's very obvious for most people, and it's some things that we wanted to really assess and honestly kind of release on the stronger side before we toned it back. And that's one. The mitigation she gets in her ground stance. Now she's still going to be able to get a cap. So she goes from a base of 30% to a cap of 60%, but it's going to be relying on the magical power from items that she gets. So you can't just be a tanky bruiser solo lane with 0 magical power and still be just really frustrating to deal with. You're going to have to invest into some of that itemization. And then 2, of course, the little baby serpents. Again, we really wanted to make sure that they released to a point, because it's such a niche ability and such a niche application and use case, that they were noticeable. So that we didn't need to buff them to the points where they were oppressive. We can now start where they're a little bit strong and then nerf them to the point where they feel fair. So there's so many different knobs we can tweak, and we chose that minions can now kill them more easily, and they also just deal less damage with the magical power scaling from Tiamat as well. On the other side of things, it's a little bit of a shift because she got 2 appropriate nerfs, and a lot of people said out of the 3 ultimate buffs, ultimates in general, one of them kind of needed a buff to be a little bit more alluring, and that's the Storm. We're just going to be bumping its scaling just a little bit on both the initial hit as well as the tick to make it a little bit scarier, to maneuver around in team fights. But I think with this, Tiamat's honestly been received in a pretty good spot, kind of where we'd expect, where her high-level applications in ranked, she is winning almost more than we might expect, but from casuals and soon as she's bringing that MMR down when people aren't quite used to playing her, you see her dropping down the win rate quite heavily. But I think these are going to be good steps forwards, and we're excited to see what you guys think.
Yeah, it seems like right as Gilgamesh is making his way onto the battleground,
That's
Tiamat
true.
is
Maybe some of Gilgamesh's power made Tiamat back off a little bit. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool. Thank you so much
All
for giving
plans.
us the rundown on that. I'm excited to see how Tiamat feels differently next update. So next up, we've got Achilles. He will be getting a buff to his Shield Bash and Fatal Strike. Pawn, will you give us some details about that?
Yeah, Achilles is one of those characters that has generally been considered very good for a while, but he's kind of started to fall off as we've hit him with quite a few nerfs. And so we wanted to bring back some of his strength, and we wanted to do that in a way that wasn't just damage. So Shield Bash getting a decreased cooldown will help him control the fight more often and help him like clear and trade with opponents more often. Why Fatal Strike, this one is a interesting one where if he successfully executes a target, he takes more damage from opponents as kind of like he's showing his Achilles heel. But that was really punishing often. If you actually like trigger this a few times, it removed your ability to continue the fight super heavily. It should feel like a punishment, but it shouldn't be too punishing. And so Fatal Strike is actually getting that decrease, which means that he'll be tankier than he was before after he successfully executes a target. Overall, just feeling the warrior role more successfully.
Cool. So he won't feel like he's getting as much of a hurt from helping out.
To his heel, yeah.
His heel.
Yep.
All right, cool.
That is actually what the tooltip is. It has Achilles' as heel as like the tooltip for that debuff.
So cute. We also got a buff coming for Bacchus with his Chug and Belch of the Gods. Clumsy, could you give us a little bit of context on that?
Yeah, Bacchus is one of those gods where, you see him do decently well in, Joust as well as maybe even in Arena, but in Conquest it's been hard to kind of bring him in, and not every god needs to be viable, but we've done a lot of efforts to try and make Chug not just feel like, an ability that you just throw in before you go into fights, or you'd struggle to throw in, right? That was the problem with it. So we're going to make this feel a little bit easier to use, decrease the mana cost. It doesn't need to be something that makes you go on Bacchus, as well as reducing its cooldown, so you really feel like you don't feel a time where you kind of don't want to use it, right? It's an easy choice to make, as well as increasing the damage of Belch of the Gods. I think we can all agree that Belch of the Gods, especially when you're trying to help your wave clear and your hunter, it's really not that strong. So we think bumping it up by just a little bit per tick will add up in the end.
Neat. That sounds good. Also, our big snake boy, Jormungandr, is getting a buff. Yes. Will you tell us about that, Clumsy?
Yeah, Jormungandr, he was really successful in the solo lane when he came out, and we definitely hit him with a lot of nerfs back-to-back, mostly focusing on that attack damage, and there was a lot of interactions with that we had to kind of shore up in the end. Well, now we've been looking for a few buffs, catering a little bit to the support as well as in the solo lane. The next step we want to have a look at is consuming Bellow. In fact, a lot of people may not remember, but if you consume multiple pools of Venomous Haze, you actually get an empowered attack speed buff from consuming Bellow. So now we're going to elongate that buff a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more easy to use, giving him that attack speed buff that he kind of was lacking with the nerfs, as well as reducing the cooldown on Submerge again. It's something that we did once, and it's an ability that really helps set up the rest of his kit. So hopefully this will help out more towards his late game.
Nice. Excited to see that in action. Merlin is next up. He'll be getting a buff as well. Pompon, can you tell us about Dragonfire and the changes that are happening?
Yeah, so Dragonfire is the deployable where you have to make sure that they're actually standing in this area to get an effect. And to actually get all 6 stacks, the payoff was not only difficult to get, but it was also like not fully worth it. So this change is really to make sure that when you apply, it's a lot easier to get those protection shreds active on a target. They more quickly ramp up, and they ramp up to a more appropriate amount that doesn't have to double scale over the course of the game. This is important to note, too, that this is also protection reduction on gods specifically, correct?
Very good point. Yeah, absolutely.
Which means that this isn't, we're not like he's already a very good objective controller. This is not a buff to his objective secure in any way. This is really more to help make sure that if he is able to trap enemy gods in his Dragonfire, he can shred them appropriately as a worthwhile reward for the effort that he had to do to get there.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think decreasing those stacks would help. And next up, y'all, I'm so stoked. My girl Neith, getting the buff she deserves. Her spirit arrow is going to have a decreased cooldown. Who would like to take that one on?
Yeah, I can go for that. I mean, we've done a lot of pretty impactful buffs to Neith. I mean, the backflip feels so much more responsive than it did.
Yes, it
Pawn
does.
was great help on that one, I know, for sure. But her cooldowns for, an ability hunter are a little bit on the longer side. We think just decreasing the cooldown on Spirit Arrow, something that she uses across the board, although, maybe her level 1, because rank 1's not going to be changing, it'll be a really big quality of life change for her, as well as, of course, a buff across the board.
I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. We also have a buff coming for Oleron, increasing his base power, but also playing with Touch of Fate. Pawn, will you give us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Oleron is a character that his ultimate is obviously very powerful, but we've seen him go back and forth between being considered very viable to kind of struggling to really find a place in the meta, and he's right now on the kind of more of the side of struggling to find his place. We've seen this with a lot of the other major DCs as well, but Oleron in particular, we just felt like giving him some extra base power for his basic attacks and making Touch of Fate that synergy to make sure that he does feel impactful with his basic attacks, bumping those up to make sure to give him more of a role and just in general bring him up to where he needs to be.
All right, sweet. Thank you very much. And we have a Circuit buff coming as well. Pawn, will you give us a little bit of details about this one? We're having a few things going on with Circuit, it seems.
Yes. So Circuit is a character that we want to be very careful of, because if we buff her too much, she has a tendency to go towards more of this like tanky support build. So whenever we buff her, we want to make sure that we're buffing her more towards the assassin direction, because that's where we feel like one, she feels the most fair, but also the one where she generally needs the most help to like be successful. So the first thing, Catalyst, stacks will not only be consumed when you actually damage a target. So if you basic attack a target that has maybe a block stack or is Aegis, you'll consume all your Catalyst but not deal any damage. Now it'll actually wait until you actually damage with that basic attack, so you get through the block stacks, you get through the Aegis, then it'll actually proc and deal the damage. So you're not going to waste your passive stacks, which is just a nice quality of life for Circuit in general. And the second one is Last Breath. We're bumping up the physical power scaling. If you build more power, this true damaging ultimate is going to get more power. So you're really incentivized to build power on her, especially because this scales so well. Like the equivalent amount of damage this is doing because it's true damage is very good. So Circuit players will have just a nice buff overall in this patch.
Yeah, I think our Circuit players are probably thrilled right now. So thank you. We've got a buff coming for Sylvanas as well. Clumsy, will you help us with that? Talking about verdant growth, but also just in general his basic attack damage.
Yeah, Sylvanas is a guardian who brings a lot of control and utility to the team. It's a guardian that even I like to pick up as someone who doesn't play guardians as much, because it's just what you can do to help your team is really useful. But the one thing that's always been a struggle is kind of getting out of that early game. Right? You can heal your teammate a little bit, you can damage the enemies if they're nearby, but even though your basic attacks are a radius and hits everything in that area, it's actually, you're just not doing enough because you've only got verdant growth on top of that. And so that comes to these two buffs. We're going to be buffing his basic attacks as well as his verdant growth to try and get you out of that phase a little bit earlier, and going to transition a little bit better towards the late game as well, where the scaling on verdant growth will be a bit more impactful.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And then last but not least, Zhonghui is getting a buff to Exposed Evil. Pawn, could you give us a little bit of insight onto that?
Yep, so Zhonghui, just giving him a little bit of extra scaling on his main damage ability. Exposed Evil, this is the card, so you take damage is going to ramp up a bit more effectively, so if you're building a bit more kind of on the damage side of Bruiser, you're going to feel this more. But that also synergizes with his 2, where he consumes it. It's going to be consumed based off how much damage it does, so this is also a buff to that component, that kind of like combination. So just in general, bringing him up, giving him some extra reward for building magical power.
Cool. And that'll come like right after he just got that kitty cat skin. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But that wraps up all of our balance. So let's start talking about the skins that are going to be coming with the update as well. So the Talons of Tyranny event will be ongoing, as it has been, and it will be releasing new skins. The first one will be Chilling Hesser Ares.
Ooh.
And he looks incredible. That I do not want that chasing me down the lane. I don't want that using chains to bring me closer. But it looks incredible.
Yeah,
Let's
the
get the
in our
voice pack
playtest, I know someone was saying that their the aura was really impactful and like looked really cool. So I'm super excited to see the effects in this game.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like the intimidation factor has gone up, which is a buff in itself. But let's give the voice pack a listen.
I awaken from my rest one last time.
Oh my god. That is incredible. I love it. That voice is perfect for him. Next up, we've got Headless Horror Chiron, again with the Talons of Tyranny event. Yes, the purple. The purple hits.
Purple's one of my favorite colors, so
He's a
I'm really
skeleton.
excited for this. I'm really going with the creepy
But can he be a skeleton without a head?
Yeah, absolutely.
A partial skeleton. Oh my gosh, it looks so neat. Look at where his head would be with all those flames and effect. That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
And then being able to see through his body. I love the skins where it like you can see through them. Like the infinite skins like we were talking about earlier with the Prime Gaming, and then this Chiron skin as well. Really beautiful. Let's give it the voice pack a listen.
The hunt has been called, and her victims shall now answer.
Ooh.
I love it.
Spooky.
It's so spooky. With the Talons of Tyranny event, we're also going to have Lady of the Sea Discordia, which is my favorite skin from this update.
Oh,
Look at her.
Sam. Wait.
This one's so good.
The little eel thing. What? It's got a little jellyfish cap.
Yes.
Yeah. This one is way too cool in game.
Oh,
look at it. Oh my gosh. It's
so
like a
cool.
mermaid, but a jellyfish, and I am
crazy.
living for this. Oh my gosh. Yes, all
Oh,
day.
the little
Those color
jellyfish's little
schemes
face too. Look at the little face on the jellyfish.
does?
She's...
Oh,
my
it
God.
does.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, I want it.
And all the little iridescent outfit things. It's so pretty. Let's give the voice pack a listen.
Let's just float along today and see where the waves bring us.
Perfect.
Very jellyfish.
I love it. Yes. If a jellyfish could talk. And then the last skin from the Talons of Tyranny event will be Tormented Soul Medusa. And wait till y'all see this. Oh my god. This is terrifying. Such a different theme. I love the glowing. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Aw,
And she's actually,
yeah.
it almost looks like she's like missing her tail part from most of her skins.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I didn't even think about that. You're right. She's kind of like a tormented spirit, right? That's literally what the skin is. That's awesome.
And we are
Yeah,
actually
very
going
neat.
to be hopping in game to see this one
Ooh.
with Pawn. So let's
You
give it a
think you
voice
know
line and we'll hop
pain?
in game.
I'll show you pain, and you have so much to learn.
Oh my goodness,
Really like
I
the
love
chains
it.
like flowing off towards where her tail was.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
those skulls.
Oh, those effects are so neat. Get him, Pawn.
Whoa.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, that's sick.
I love that. It looks like magma or like lava that's coming off as her spray.
Yeah.
That is so pretty.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, this is
GG,
pretty dope.
Awesome! Well, those are going to be all of the Talons of Tyranny skins that will be coming to y'all with the King of Uruk update on April 20th. But we also, on 420, when the update launches, will have a groovy chest that will be coming with the update as well. And the first skin that we want to highlight from there will be the Fun Guy Merlin skin. Let's take a look. Yes.
Fun guy.
Yes.
I see what you did there.
Yes, all.
Okay, team. Okay, everyone who voted for this.
So yes, this will be part of the groovy chest, which will launch on 420 with the update.
He looks amazing.
I'm obsessed with this.
Well, I'm gonna
Like-
check this one out.
I want the vest. I want the vest. I want the hat.
I can't wait to see what his
Let's
effects
get
look like.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Oh,
this
yeah.
one yet. This is my first time, so I'm really curious.
His face looks super friendly too. But let's give the voice pack a listen and see what he has to say.
All right, everybody. Only good vibes here.
Only good vibes. Let's go.
Only good vibes. That's the only way to play. And then the other skin that will be part of the Groovy Chest is Peace Out Artemis. And wait till y'all see. It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
Ooh.
Oh God.
I love her.
Is Tusky the bus?
It's got a smiling face to it. It's gotta be. It better be. Wait, and eyes. I missed the eyes.
Or TSK. Yeah, 100%. That has to be, right?
Oh, yeah.
It is. It is. There it is.
Oh my
God,
God, that
gosh.
is sick.
That's
And
incredible.
Artemis has a lot of skins that I really like, but I don't know if one beats this one for me personally. I think
Yeah,
she's
this is
ready to
pretty
go to Bonnaroo or a music festival, get down with her friends, and just spread some peace and love.
Yeah, I love the colors, but I love the Tusky. Oh my God.
All right, and let's see how she sounds in game.
Let's go on a nature walk. We really need to take in the beauty that's around us. You feel me?
I feel you. I feel you. Let's go on a walk. And that'll wrap up all of the skins that we'll be releasing with the update on April 20th. And the last thing that we need to go over before we start getting into the Living Conquest changes and Gilgamesh is a couple of quality of life updates. The first thing that I want to talk to y'all about is adjustments to the login screen. Pawn, could you give us some little notes about that?
Yeah, so I'll try and keep this short because it's mostly backend stuff, but really we're making improvements to the backend for serviceability. So when you log into the new patch, you'll see kind of a login message. Whether or not there's a queue, it'll kind of put you into a queue and let you know, like, hey, you're in a queue, and then log you in. In most cases, this will just be a quick message. In case there's an actual queue, it'll be a bit longer. But again, this is really to help keep things stable and just generally build server stability.
Nice.
We are all about that server stability. Updates to that is fantastic. We also have some quality of life updates for Baba Yaga. Who would like to take those on?
I can also probably take that one on.
I was trying to figure out which way. It's like, there we go.
That way.
Yeah.
So
the quick of the Baba Yaga changes is really that we focus a lot on improving her ultimate. So her ultimate had some issues where, especially on some like maybe more jittery connections, you could have situations like you ult and the animations don't quite play correctly. You're walking around and your targeter and your camera will jitter. You'll start to try and fire ability and you'll like animate like you're actually throwing like an ability, but then you won't throw it and you have to like refire it. We've just done a lot of refactoring to that ability to make sure that it feels a lot smoother. So when you're playing in the new patch, it should feel like a much better experience to use Baba Yaga's ultimate.
Nice.
Okay, awesome. That'll be great. I love Baba Yaga. Scary witch.
Oh,
lady.
and the other one is the root that she has is decreased. So she self-roots herself when she casts the ultimate. That's also decreased, so it should feel quicker and more responsive to actually start moving with that ability as well.
Awesome.
Oh, awesome. That'll feel great. And then there's only one last little quality of life update, and that will be the textures not loading.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of people who actually, we found out, one of the small fixes for some people, depending on whether they're on DX9 or 11, you may see your icons or avatars with just blacked out. There's just nothing there, or even some models don't load in properly. You could have changed the texture settings. That might help you there. But for now, that's what you can do. But we're gonna have that fixed overall, so you won't have to worry about that soon.
Yay! Love to see it. Well, that is going to cover all of the balance, the skins that are coming with the update. But next, let's talk about the first set of Living Conquest changes, the Rising Storm.
Storms gather above. Discord festers below. The goddess of the salt sea, Tiamat, contorts the land as she sees fit, as she does with ally and foe alike. Now the gods stand at a crossroad. Will they stand against Tiamat's reign, or join her on her conquest?
Welcome back, everybody, and how about that trailer? I'm just so pumped to get into our first Living Conquest update of Season 8. I'm Isaiah from the community team. I want to give a quick shout out to Cupcake for taking us through what's been a great update show so far, but we've still got a ton to go over, and I've got Ajax here, and I've got got Pawn here. Pawn is going to be our trusty driver as we start getting into some of this exciting stuff coming into 8.4, but we said it at the beginning of the season, Conquest is going to be a living map, a living game mode with periodic changes that are going to be coming up in, periodic updates. So the Rising Storm is our kind of internal code name for this first update. And I'll pass it along to Ajax. What's going on in SMITE and how is the battleground transforming?
Yeah, so this is a big feature that we've been looking forward to all season. We are finally here for our first update. We had just had a brand new map, and now we're going to go ahead and layer another level of change onto this brand new map. I don't really feel like the map is totally solved yet, but we're going to head and get it even spicier anyway. We're going to have a few changes that all fit according to the SMITE storyline until the launch of our new god Gilgamesh. So as we all know, Gilgamesh is arriving in this update. We're going to learn more about him in a minute with Pon. But in the SMITE universe, Tiamat was the savior. She banished Cthulhu. She cleansed the world of all of his corruption and madness. And the gods are still trying to figure her out. They're not really sure what she's up to. She could be good. She could be evil. She seems to be a little controlling, but not necessarily mean. But Gilgamesh shows up, and he has a history with Tiamat. He knows about Tiamat's past, and he wants to fight her immediately. That does not make Tiamat happy. So as a response, Tiamat kind of puts a twist on her map that she has created for us. She summons a great storm, as well as she causes the hanging gardens of Babylon to overgrow. And what that's going to do is create two major changes to the map in 8.4. We're going to see a completely new skybox and lighting change to a dark and stormy skybox and a darker lighting treatment. This might remind some people of the older Season 2 map that was very kind of dark and stormy. We've been really excited to try out something like this, so that's just a really big visual change. As soon as you load into the map, you will notice the difference. And then additionally, we have a brand new game mechanic called the Vine Walls, which are breakable walls that spawn in the jungle to block your path, and you will have to break through them to go through normal jungle paths.
I know. We're actually ready to go in game. We want to definitely show it off because lots of kind of balance implications, especially towards the mid lane here, that these walls are going to be causing. And as you can see, we've got around the Harpy camps on the left and right sides of mid lane. In the patch notes, we've got a high-res version of the mini-map that you'll be able to see exactly where these walls are. But AJ, talk to me about these walls and where they are and how they're being destroyed here.
So we were playing up on the mechanic of the base gates and what we call dynamic geometry, which is, blocking volumes that prevent players from moving, but that can also be affected by players. So what we have here is these are tactically placed around the middle of the map, and they're placed symmetrically. So there's one for the order side as well as the chaos side. You can see they have 2 health points as the red orbs that are floating within them. They can only be broken by basic attacks, so every wall can be broken with 2 basic attacks. They don't provide any gold or experience. They're specifically there to be unique play on how you move and how you travel through the jungle. Probably the only other important rule about them is their respawn. So they will respawn when their adjacent jungle camp respawns. So as Pawn just cleared out here, he killed all the walls, but he's not killing any jungle camps. Those walls will stay down, but when you're playing more of a normal match and you're killing those mid-harpies, so every time the mid-harpies respawn, the walls will also respawn, even if they were just killed moments ago. If you just aren't killing them, then nothing will change. They'll stay there. But it creates a really scary situation here in the mid lane where you can get trapped by them, or even just breaking them, or as you're fleeing from someone or chasing down someone, they can make a big impact on the battle.
Definitely. And I know just immediately as we loaded into the map, as you were saying, the skybox has been completely changed. Talk to me about a little bit of the art direction and how we've wanted to go with a little bit of a darker style here for the skybox.
Yeah, I think this is one thing that players have talked about in SMITE for a while. They wanted a bit of a, trying to think of the right word. They wanted a more serious Conquest map, right? They wanted some drama. They wanted some weight. They wanted things to be looking like they're in danger, right? We wanted Tiamat's arrival to have a kind of a positive spin on it. You know, it's a cleansing of this, you know, evil creature Cthulhu, and it had a very sunset lighting, as we called it, which is kind of, you know, very, you know, the golden hour, as they say, the best time to take photographs, when you look the best, when people look the best. Very positive aura to it. But now, as the war between the gods, or kind of the friction between Tiamat and Gilgamesh and the rest of the gods is escalating, we have changed that lighting. We've also made some environment changes here to the mid lane. You can see there's some damage to the mid lane, kind of to represent the fight between Tiamat and Gilgamesh. And Tiamat has also ignited these torches on the Babylonian structures to kind of let the gods know that she means business. The environment team did a big pass on the lighting throughout the jungle. There is some interesting white to gray lighting to help guide you through the jungle, but still give it a darker feel. The order base itself is kind of in a, you know, as if there was a break in the clouds and just a bit of sun shining through, all of that shining onto the order base, but the rest of the map is plunged into darkness. And the darker map is also really interesting because it helps the Smite gods and abilities really stand out, I think. Oftentimes players actually have a harder time seeing in Smite when things are too bright, and when maps are too white, yellow, gold. That can be a little bit more tiring on players, or actually more difficult to see. I think the C81 Conquest map was the perfect middle ground for that, but we've made that mistake previously on older maps. So it's just really interesting to bring in this darker lighting, and really wanted to just show that we mean business with these quarterly changes to Conquest, and we want there to be noticeable, visible changes to the map.
Yeah, this is super exciting. I know this is something that was like really, really big in the community when we announced it at the beginning of the year. And I am super excited for players to hop into Conquest, the Rising Storm, this brand new living Conquest map. The entire team internally is excited about it, and we hope players are as excited as we are. It's definitely looking awesome, and it's definitely going to feel awesome as we continue to progress in the Smite story this season. The stage is set for Conquest, but we also want to touch on another game mode that we announced at the beginning of the year. Before we start talking about Gilgamesh, we've got some Slash updates, and I'll pass it over to you, Ajax, on this one.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking questions about this, so we prepared this kind of statement to talk more about Slash and just be more specific about our goals for the mode. First thing is that the mode is not planned to launch until much later in the year, Q4, so end of the year. I saw a lot of people out there saying that any update now, it's going to be ready. It's like, no, that's not the case. It's still very early. Also wanted to just, and I'm going to be more careful here with my notes because there's some very specific wording here. We really want Slash to feel like the rework that Siege mains and Clash mains both want, but in one map. And people might be asking, you know, why? Why do we want to make that in one map? And the answer is really because when we were looking at the problems with Siege and trying to draw on what is successful in Smite in other modes that could help make Siege a better experience, we actually were looking at a lot of things we're doing in Clash. And when we were looking at what are the problems with Clash and what are other things that work well in Smite, we were seeing actually some lessons from Siege. And so we were just realizing more and more that these modes had a lot of overlap between them. They both occupy a very similar gameplay space in Smite, which is something that has a high amount of combat, but lower amount of strategy and farming, like Conquest. So you want something in between Arena and Conquest. And this is not to say that Slash or Siege or Clash are ways to prepare for Conquest that generally does not work, and we don't think that's a good idea. But they are interesting twists on more casual game modes like Arena, but giving you more objectives and you know, more things to play around. So that conclusion kind of led us towards working them together into one map. So we're going to be trying to take the best parts of both maps and bring them together into one mode. We're going to continue naming the map Slash. That's just was an internal code name, but it's just caught on. People just like it. And we even went forward with it with our Smite World Championships branding video. So it's going to be Slash. It's going to feature a Maya base as well as an Egyptian base. So you're going to get both art sets. There's still going to be a huge amount of updated brand new environment art for both of them. And the mode is going to be 5v5, which I know most people are asking about. Really, 5v5 modes, we've seen just a lot more success in Smite. A lot more of the game is balanced around it. People can bring in full parties at 5v5. There's just a lot of advantages to 5v5. But this map is going to have a lot of siege mechanics. So, without giving away too many spoils on the map, we're looking to keep things like lane pushing juggernauts. We're looking to keep things like teleporting. We are looking to keep a lot of siege type mechanics as well. So this map still will feel like a siege update, although it will be 5v5. So that's the plan right now. We're still in early testing for it. We're going to be trickling out information over the year about it. We'll be using the Olympians to help evaluate with that, although they won't be able to tell you all about most of their early testing because of the NDAs and other agreements we have with them. But we're going to be making sure we keep the community feedback in mind as we move forward, and it's going to be a really exciting new game mode. I'm really looking forward to it. But just wanted to go ahead and get those out there, clear the air, make sure no one is confused about what our goals are for Slash.
Definitely. Much appreciated, Ajax. So you've got your first set of Slash updates here on the show. I'm sure as you're ready to get, trickle out more information, we'll be posting it out on social media, possibly talking about it on future update shows. And like Ajax said, towards the end of the year is when that new game mode is going to hit the live client. But we've got, we went over the Conquest updates. You got an update on Slash, but I feel like it's time to talk about the King. We are ready to go in and talk about Gilgamesh, the newest warrior coming to Smite. We'll be right back on the other side of this break. Welcome back, everyone. The stage is set, quite literally. The storm is over the Conquest map now. Gilgamesh has arrived to battle Tiamat in this fated event in 8-4 that is coming up, the Rising Storm. And we are ready to talk about Gilgamesh, King of Uruk. So as we get ready to go in game and as production starts pulling up the card art and the turnarounds here, Pon, I'll go to you first. Who is Gilgamesh and kind of where is he fitting in Smite?
Yeah, so Gilgamesh, many people have probably read his epic, his story, but he's a king, he's a leader, and he's also an adventurer. He is starts off as this very kind of self-righteous guy who's only invested in himself, and through encounters with his basically wrestling partner, Enkidu, his friend, he learns humility, and through his adventuring, he starts to become friends and learn more about what it means to be a ruler. And upon Enkidu's death, he actually learns that mortality is a thing that he actually has to be a little bit worried about, and it humbles him. And he starts off from this kind of self-righteous king to this very fine and powerful ruler who cares for his people. And so we're kind of in the middle of that journey with him in the story of Smite. But yeah, he's just one of those like central figures in any, whenever you're talking about like heroes' journeys or old epics, he is like the character to go to. He's like one of the first epics that we had like written down. So big historical figure, super excited to have Gilgamesh and Smite.
Definitely. And he isn't the first king to join the battleground. Ajax, talk to me a little bit about how we approached the theme and the visuals for Gilgamesh compared to, some of the other kings that we've introduced in Smite.
Well, Gilgamesh is special to us because he's our first god from a new region, right? The Mesopotamian Babylonian region, the modern day Middle East, which is really interesting. And there's a lot of great historical imagery. Specifically, this civilization was known for carvings and stone tablets, both imagery as well as written language, which is where the Epic of Gilgamesh comes from. When you say something is epic, it's because of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Like that was the first epic, right? Which is just really exciting to have that level of history and story into Smite, which I know Pon went a little bit into his story, but then also now we have a completely new culture in Smite, which we're always happy to have. And we just wanted to make sure we use that reference and that location to influence his design, his jewelry, his decoration, and his style. And I think he just looks amazing.
He definitely looks amazing, but I am ready to see how he dukes it out on the battleground. I believe we are ready to go in game. And as is tradition, I will give Pawn the reins to just do what it do and show us what Gilgamesh does really quick.
Okay, let's go.
Oh my goodness, this is so dope.
Really, it's the drop kick, right? That's too good.
It's the drop kick is so satisfying. Oh my goodness. That is great. Oh my goodness. Well, now that we've kind of given everybody just a quick glimpse at what Gilgamesh can do, they might notice that he's got a round shield just kind of flashing in his inventory. Let's talk about the passive, Epic of Gilgamesh, Pawn. How did he get that round shield?
Yeah, so that's the Epic of Gilgamesh. You're going to actually adventure as Gilgamesh. You're going to have different things you have to do around the map. So the big thing here is at level 5, you'll get your first quest. These quests can be completed at any time throughout the game, but they have different requirements. The first quest is visit location on the map. So you can see when I spawned here, it was here. This is mostly just because we're in like testing and I'm level 20 and I'm switch classing all the time. But what it'll do is when you hit level 5, it'll pick a location on the enemy side of the map that is close to kind of where you were when you hit level 5. So if you're in solo lane, it's going to be kind of around the enemy speed buff or the enemy harpies. If you're in dual lane as a support, it's going to be more around like the purple area. But it's going to encourage you to go actually adventure into the enemy side of the base to find a location. If you successfully get there and walk over that beacon that was on the ground, you get a tier 1 item. So that's the reward for any of the quests. And at level 10, you get a second quest, which is the first one was to adventure. The second quest is to conquer. You have to defeat half the enemy team rounded up in a single team fight. So if a big team fight erupts and 3 of the enemy teammates or the enemy team members die, whether you got the kill or assist, you will actually complete that quest and you'll get another reward for that, which is another random tier 1 item. So you can definitely, if you're willing to risk and try and like create these situations where you can get the quest done, you can get quite a big reward for it.
Definitely. This is super dope and something that we haven't done in Smite before. Pawn, talk to me. What if I have a full inventory whenever I complete a quest? What happens?
So the general rough value of a starter item is around 450 to 500 gold if you were just like sell it. So maybe you get an item and you're like, I'd rather finish my tier 3 than use this. You'd sell it for about 500. That's what we're going to give you if you have a full inventory. So that's the alternate reward if we can't put an item in your inventory.
Awesome. Sounds great. All my MMO fans out there should get this really easy. Get the quest, complete the quest, get the loot for sure. Gilgamesh getting some immediate value at level 5 and 10 from these quests that are involved with this passive. And kind of the lore of Gilgamesh is he's got all these artifacts. So the passive definitely plays off of that. He's collecting the artifacts across the battleground, but he's also got his Sun-Forged Scimitar as one of the artifacts that he's bringing along with him, his iconic weapon. Talk to me about Ability 1.
Yeah, so Gilgamesh, when he adventures, he finds all these artifacts throughout the story. And so this is an artifact that we've kind of imagined from the weaponry of the time where he has this weapon that's forged in the sun. And as such, it ignites with the heat of the sun. So you can see here, you have these smoldering embers on the sword towards the bottom. When you activate your 1, they're going to ignite and erupt into fire. And you can see his whole weapon is now basically this giant torch. Enemies who are caught in this ignition take damage and are slowed. And Gilgamesh now deals damage to targets, some extra bonus damage for hitting targets, equal to his maximum health. So right now I believe it's equal to about 3.5% of his maximum health. So the more health you build, the more effective this actually becomes. And you can see here that as I keep attacking this Odin, the buff is still on me, it's staying on me. It actually extends in duration the more successful you are. So if you activate this and can keep attacking your target, you get to keep this buff for up to 12 seconds. So you can actually have this pretty much indefinitely, and you can chain it into the one going off cooldown and like activating again and getting it all refreshed.
That's sick. And I know since we're talking about basic attacks, I'm not sure if Pawn or AJ, I believe we've got some new tech that we added in for these basic attacks to help out.
Yeah, so you can see as I'm moving around. Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
Paul.
the basic attacks, a lot of our basic attacks have these like kind of forward animations, but to make sure that the characters can move in 8 directions and run, we sometimes have to do these 8-way splits essentially. And we lose a lot of that forward momentum, but the art team did a really good job here where they've done new tech here to keep some of that forward animation as you're doing these 8-way movements. So you'll notice this as you're playing, these attacks just feel super smooth and feel super responsive. And that's due to the art being able to convey that forward momentum while still allowing full 8-way control. And it's just really fun to play with.
There's a lot of
Definitely, yeah.
back-end tech art, very complex changes, and it's a subtle impact that you might feel, or if you're someone who's really interested in animations, you might notice it more than others. But we're really happy with how it's improved our gods animations, and we're going to be using it on future gods. So we're just really proud of our team for that. Even if maybe the lesser eye wouldn't spot it.
For sure, yeah. But yeah, these basics definitely look satisfying, but I have a feeling that Gilgamesh has an ability that's going to feel even more satisfying to land. Let's talk about Dropkick.
Yeah, Dropkick. This is the one that everyone has like played Gilgamesh and been like, nope, that was just cool. What I did there was just very cool. So Dropkick is what you'd expect. It's a dropkick. You dropkick an area in front of you, and you send them flying. If they collide with a god or a wall, they'll stun. So you can see here. Oh, let me send cooldown back on. If I send this Odin into that other Odin, they both get stunned for the duration. So you can try and actually use this to hit multiple targets and stun multiple targets. Or you can just send them flying back to your team. You can send them into a wall to follow up with your one. There's a lot of stuff that you can do here. And it also, you can see here that if I just don't hold W, it has built-in forward momentum. So not only does this just make the weight of the ability feel really high, but like it lets you follow up. So here, I actually am in better position now to follow up off that stun than I would be otherwise. So it just helps the flow of the ability.
Yeah, I definitely when you were showing us the kit earlier, this dropkick was definitely my favorite, and I love how we've just incorporated it into everything that we're doing. The trailer has a sick dropkick. I am so ready to hit people with it on the battleground. But let's move along to Hero's Advance, which is his 3 and going to be a movement ability for Gilgamesh.
Yep, so Hero's Advance is the main movement ability for Gilgamesh. He targets a ground location, and you can see it's quite a big area. It actually hits this whole area as well. But when you land, you have this field that gets created. Now, for allies outside of it, they'll see this as like a beacon of light. And as they run towards it, so you can see if I run out of here and start running towards it, I'll get some movement speed for running towards it. So this is your way as the warrior to jump into the middle of the enemy team and be like, hey, teammates, we're fighting here right now. Everyone gets a boost of movement speed to get there. And then while they're inside of it, they get some of that movement speed, but they also get lifesteal equal to 10% plus a certain percentage of Gilgamesh's highest protection. So you can see a theme here. He wants to build health, he wants to build protection. He wants to be the frontline bruiser that's very hard to take down. And for doing so, you get to provide some extra damage with your one, as well as some extra lifesteal to your teammates with the aura from the theme.
All right, that is Hero's Advance. Let's go ahead and talk about the ultimate ability for Gilgamesh, Winds of Shamash.
So Shamash is someone who actually helps Gilgamesh in one of his main battles with Humbaba, a demon. He calls upon Shamash to bind the demon with his winds, and so he's calling down the winds again here. It's a range deployable circle that creates essentially a ring of wind. Targets who are inside of it take initial damage and are slowed. They take some wind damage over time, and then you can see at the end there, if they're still in it, the winds kind of turn into these threads that end up binding them, rooting and crippling them if they stayed inside of it, causing them to take extra damage. But that's not quite all. So let's see if I can get this with Bot's Orbit. Oh, no, they don't want to behave. Unfortunate. This might be easier, actually, if I just spawn a... We're going to go over to the other lane, and I'm going to spawn an enemy Gilgamesh. Also, his voice pack is great.
Yeah, I know.
I like how we took these abilities, you know, the drop kick and the way we did the kind of King of the Ring ultimate, and we even brought that into some of his animation. He has sort of a professional wrestler vibe you'll get from a few of his animations that helps with his kind of confidence and bravado as a king. But then he's very driven and very, you know, intentional and wise at the same time, which is just, I think, worked out really well.
So here you can see this wind wall. The outer walls actually slow you incredibly heavily. This is a 70% slow at maximum rank. And if Gilgamesh attacks you while you're inside that area, so it's basically kind of like a ring, but it's a soft ring. It doesn't actually fully lock your movement. If Gilgamesh attacks you while you're inside that ring, the slow area of it, the ring will actually knock you back towards the center. And you can obviously combine this with your drop kick to send them back at you. So you get to bounce them off the edge of the ring. So Gilgamesh's whole game plan really is to cast this on a team and then use his attacks and damaging abilities to keep them inside that ring for as long as he can to make sure that they get bound by the winds of Shamash.
Definitely. I'm loving the vibes here, like AJ was saying, the professional wrestler, like, leaning towards those themes a little bit. Gilgamesh being, you know, astute but aggressive. He's just all about the business. He is here to fight you, you know, really straightforward. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, what we've been seeing in playtest in terms of playstyle and where Gilgamesh is, you know, kind of landing in Conquest.
Yeah, so when it comes to playing him in Conquest, we've been playing him in, we've tried support, we've tried solo, and we've tried jungle. Early on, his damage was very high, so he was doing really well in the jungle, but as we've tuned balance for him, he's really found his home in the solo lane. He's very effective at boxing out opponents in lane, really fighting for lane control, and just kind of trying to pressure out opponents with the drop kick, trying to send them back into the tower or send them away from the wave. The one, because of the way the cooldown works, where when you activate it, it goes on cooldown immediately, so as you're using the stim, you can be getting the cooldown available for it again to use it. It makes you a very effective boxer if they try and actually trade with you. So I would expect to see him mostly in the solo lane, maybe a little bit of flex into the jungle role, but his support also has high potential because doing this in lane is pretty devastating.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I can only imagine. Oh, that is sick.
Lots of different things to play with here.
We love the basic attack focus from him. We have, you know, that's something that a warrior hasn't brought new to the game in a little while. It does give him some flex potential as well. Potentially he could be played in the jungle, but I think he does really well in the solo lane. If you use that leap, which has a really big hit area, you can poke your enemy god and then group up the minions really well with a 3-1 combo to just clear the lane really effectively, and then you're getting a lot of swings in, so you always have a lot of uptime on that scimitar. So he plays great in both roles, honestly. And he's just a very fun god who does, like, you know, who just gets up in the mix. Really, that's, you know, what warriors are really designed to do, and Gilgamesh does that very well.
Nice. Well, he will definitely be jumping in head first in 8-4 to challenge Tiamat during the Rising Storm update on Conquest. Well, that just about does it for the kit. But of course, we want to show off, you know, all the recolors and take a listen to the voice pack for Gilgamesh that we've got going on. I believe the first recolor that we want to show off is the standard recolor for Gilgamesh, and it is going to be Crimson King. And I love the card art here. It is super dope. What do you think, AJ?
I love it, of course, you know. We had a lot of really cool colors for Gilgamesh. We had like a lot of blues and purples, and then here we have kind of this like red magenta kind of color, which just, it feels very royal, and it fits the king well.
Definitely. I believe we're going to be able to have a turnaround here for this recolor as well as we get ready for it.
Are we going to be going back into the Conquest map at any point, Isaiah?
I didn't plan on it, but is there anything interesting that you wanted to show off?
There's one more thing on the Conquest map that I forgot to show during the Conquest update section.
Let's see if production
Pawn is still in the match, and he could switch to a god like Cthulhu for me. Could you do that, Pawn?
We will see.
Go ahead and speed yourself out to the jungle anywhere. Go to the jungle.
There we go.
All right, so we have another new tech art feature along with Gilgamesh's animation smoothing. We also have new foliage, invisible foliage tech. So if you activate your ultimate,
forgot to bring this up.
The trees will disappear around you, and as you get closer to the trees that are going to be in your ultimate's range, they will start to dissolve away. So no longer will players be able to hide in fear under the trees while you chase them down. This works off of the god's height. So any god that raises into a height above the trees will give them a vision radius, and if the higher they go, the larger it goes. So You can't really notice this as much with Thor because you can't move at the same time, but when you go up in the air as Thor, all of the trees within your targeting area will be invisible, and you'll be able to see the ground and be able to dunk down onto them. Gods like Thanatos and also can also appreciate it. We're going to also even continue looking to tweak the fine-tune this to maybe even affect gods at lower heights, like Cthulhu just walking around, right? But that's not currently in this update. In this update, it's only like the ultimate and above height. But yeah, that's a really big feature. I know players have been really asking for it since 8.1.
Most definitely.
You know, I think that global alts are really, really strong, and you know, visibility and being able to hide behind rocks and things should be a part of mechanic of the game. But the trees were maybe just pushing that into the frustration territory and not the balance territory. So we went ahead and added this feature. So big shout outs to our tech art team, you know, along with that Gilgamesh animation tech, they also came up with this one, and it's just beautiful. So
I know. Definitely shout outs to the team. And just another way, you know, we're incorporating that community feedback in to the Conquest map. And it's just changing, you know, visually and on the tech side as well, which is awesome. But I got word from production that we do have the Crimson King turnaround ready to show off. So we'll be able to see that super cool model here for the standard recolor. There we go. This is Crimson King Gilgamesh. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack before we start talking about the other recolors and the mastery skins.
A fresh land ready for a strong adventurer. I wonder what I shall find here.
That's dope. And Pon, you hit the nail right on the head. That voice pack is sick. I love the tie into the passive and, you know, him adventuring around and finding these artifacts and relics and gaining some new items. The next recolor that we have that we want to talk about is actually the Season Pass 2021 recolor. We've got Ascended Gilgamesh going to be coming up here. So if you've picked up that Season Pass 2021, you'll be able to unlock this limited recolor as soon as Gilgamesh goes live on April 20th. The card art is dope. I love Tiamat in the background. He's got a nice slash that he's hit here as well. And this is the turnaround. This is the more purple vibe, right, AJ?
There you go. You know, historically the color of royalty in lots of other cultures. So made a good sense as a recolor for him. But, you know, I think his default is the most historical, but then we explored a few others on the recolors. And then his card art for the mastery, I'm really big fan of, because obviously the color choice for mastery. We don't have a lot of flexibility on the color choice for mastery, but we did get a little creative with the card art, which I really love.
Definitely. He's definitely flexing
That's my favorite
on him.
card art.
I know, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the card art for the mastery skin. Watch the throne, everybody.
Gosh.
He is
He's
just
the king.
here chilling. That is sick.
Look, he looks like he wants to get out and adventure so bad. He's like, why did I have to come to this meeting?
I know, right?
Too many
story of
Zoom
my
calls
life.
do to you.
Zoom calls, Google Hangouts. I definitely feel you, Gilgamesh.
There's every moment where Aggie is like, hey, maybe we shouldn't go fight Humbaba, and Gilgamesh is like, no, I want to fight. He's going to go.
Right? Yeah.
He doesn't have much movements early on.
So this is the golden and then the legendary, the black and gold, my favorite. I got to say it every update show. This one looks sick, and I believe we'll have the diamond here in just a second to look at. I'm loving it. Oh, I love the treatment on the weapon there for the diamond skin as well. All right, guys. Well, that is Gilgamesh. That is the king of Uruk. Any final words on Gilgamesh before we close out the show?
I mean, it was super fun to work on this character. It's such a historical figure, being able to like explore what he could do in Smite, making this kind of like lean, straightforward warrior kit was like super satisfying. And so I can't wait for you guys to play him on the PTS, which hopefully will be at some point soon.
Yes,
Friday.
PTS on Friday.
PTS on Friday. And new Conquest on Friday. New Conquest on Friday. No, I'm really excited for the Conquest stuff. Yeah, I'm really excited for the Conquest updates. You know, we did a new map and we were like, what's a new thing we can do on top of a new map? And like, what if that new map kept feeling new the whole year? And, you know, we just did a brand new map. So I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I think this is probably one of the smaller of the changes. The ones we have planned for the rest of this year, I think are bigger each time. And have, you know, bigger gameplay impacts and more art changes and stuff like that. So I don't know. This one is pretty cool, but this one is just getting started. You know, this one is just some pathing, some routing, some movement stuff. But we've got new objective ideas, we've got new mechanic ideas, we've got other artistic ideas. You know, we've got some really cool stuff that we're working on. But that's just, you know, that's going to be the whole year is going to be like that. Just get
Most
ready
definitely.
for more cool stuff one after another all year long.
I know. Lots of exciting stuff coming in Smite Season 8. Keep playing and keep joining us on these update shows as we break it all down for you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. PTS on Friday. We'll see everybody on the next one.
Okay, think above the levels, the world where we belong. The risk takers, vibes makers, understand the dawn. The night is never over, the offer's even on. Once you step inside our office, all we offer is beyond. This is how we gonna get by, putting you down on the radical, life on the pedestal, tighten your circle, loosen hypotheticals, no one who settles survives. Family ties, we only win it cause Tommy was spinning the rise. It wasn't surprising with individuals that notice they pinnacle similar drive. Can't slow now, cause when it goes down, we all know either you move or you frozen. Path was chosen. It's like that. It's like that.